it's Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. Today I have yet another project with Dandelion Wishes. I am just loving this stamp set, and there's so many things you can do with it. It's just amazing. So today I am going to show you a bit of a technique. I'm going to show you the Stamparatus with a bit of a technique, and we're going to be making this card. It is, in my humble opinion, stunning. I love these silhouettes. I had a post earlier this week with just one single flower as a silhouette, and it's just, oh. Anyway, and we've got some stamping on the inside as well. But the big thing with this is the whole contrast between the black and the colour. So, technique. So, Dandelion Wishes, loving it. This is a mucky technique one. So we need some, look, dandelion kitchen paper. Okay, so I've got a block. I have a piece of shimmer white cardstock, which I will be using. Need to make sure I've got that ready. Yes. And we are using 3 lovely new colours, which are Poppy Parade, Mango Melody and Gorgeous Grape. Who would think they would work together? So what I'm going to do, I don't need my embossing buddy and I don't need those. So let's clear some of the decks, shall we? Because this is a messy technique. It's not messy, but it's not clean. So let's get all of these open, and that might speed things up because I think it's always easier to open everything up all at once and then close it all up at once. So first things first, I am going to take my D block. This is probably the single most useful size. So the first thing I'm going to do is pop some ink on there. I will need that again, but not for a while, so we'll close that up. Keep it out of harm's way. So next is some Gorgeous Grape. Now the key to this is obviously to not get the Poppy Parade on my Gorgeous Grape. So I don't need it to be absolutely next door, I just need it to be close. So that's Gorgeous Grape, which I definitely don't need anymore. And finally, Mango Melody. And here again, I just want to fill in the corners. And the key is, as I say, just to have it close, but not absolutely bang next door. And if you put the block to the ink pad, it really is easier. So, and this is where the mess starts. I have got this is actually water, it's not the the rubber stamp cleaner. So I'm just going to, this is not a new technique, I should hasten to add, and this is why, I don't know if you can see, I have already got ink spreading. So I've got my piece of shimmer white cardstock, which from memory is 3¼ inches square. So I'm going to take this and stamp it down and back up. I'm just going to pick some of the ink off there while I'm running the rest of the ink from the block onto my piece of paper. And so just blot that. That will need to dry. This I obviously need to clean. What I've been doing is waiting until it's kind of touch dry and then putting it under a block. The E block is great for that. And that way it keeps the card flat. So obviously that's going to take a while. So let me just clear this and get the mess off here. Fortunately mine is a wipeable surface, particularly if I introduce a baby wipe into the equation. So that's that, and I'll do a proper job of cleaning that up later. So that's that. I have already, in good old Blue Peter fashion, here's one I prepared earlier. Now I also did this one, and this, having stamped it, I spritzed again, and it gives a slightly different effect, so do bear that in mind. That's an alternative. Oh, and that was doing a second generation, which kind of didn't work. So we have our piece. They will all be different. And I'm going to bring in the good old Stamparatus. I've got this already mounted up, which is why I've got a piece of paper there, because I don't want it to get dirty, my Stamparatus, I mean. So I've got this piece of washi tape, or these pieces of washi tape here, because that is how I've lined up my... Can't decide which way I want it. No, I do want it that way. Now, it's not going to be central. And you know what? I don't mind that it's not going to be central. As in this, the bit of block stamping is not central. So, don't think that made sense, but never mind, you know what I mean. Right, this is where you want your stamp set to go under your Stamparatus, because it's just the right size or depth to hold your flap. And I'm just going to ink up with Memento ink. Now, if you use Stays-On, you could probably do it the other way round and use Stays-On instead of Memento, but I like Memento because it's quick to clean up. Stays-On, you do need Stays-On cleaner, or you have to accept that it's going to stain your stamps. Now, I knew this was going to happen, which is why I'm using the Stamparatus. And the reason this is happening is because the cardstock, as much as anything, is because this cardstock is no longer flat, and having the ink on it has given it a bit of a grain. Now, you could use watercolour paper for this. I like the shimmer that I get from the shimmery white, so I'm not fussed. So do that again, and then we have a little trick. So, if I want the centres even blacker, you can bring in your Stampin' Right marker. Actually, I want the other end. And because the seed heads are fine, but I would like the middle of the seed heads to be a bit darker. So this is where you can bring in your Stampin' Right marker and just make them blacker. So that's that. So remove those. Do not let these two come together. So let's get my piece of scrap paper, because yes, if the magnets get bashed together, they will probably break, and that is not a good idea. So keep them on the Stamparatus. They've got little homes underneath. Do not put them on your work surface, because they will just smash together and you will get bits everywhere, and it's not easy to clean up. So, piece of Poppy Parade cardstock, which is just a bit bigger than my back piece. So I'm not fussed that that's not central. If it bothers you, then you could probably do, I would suggest you do it on a bigger piece, do the ink effect on a bigger piece of shimmery white and then cut it down so that it's central. But as I say, I'm really not that fussed. It's fine. I can cope. Did I squish that? I think I might have slightly moved it. That's better. So just press it from the back to get that nice and flat. And I'm going to pop that on there for the moment whilst we stamp the inside of our card. So here's our nice card, black card base. And I thought I had got a piece of, that's not the right size, I thought I had a piece out, but I obviously didn't, so I do now. Right, so Poppy Parade again, and I am using the Wishes for a Lifetime of Love and Happiness, which I've already got mounted up, just had to check there. And I could use a Stamparatus for this, but it's easy enough to stamp, says she, hopefully getting it sort of straight. Just hold that so that it, yay! Love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so that's that done. Clean that up in a bit. Fold our card base, and then we're pretty close to being done. So this is going on the inside, so I just need some snail. You could use tear and tape if you would rather. I do like using a reasonable amount of snail. A lot of the amount, well, the amount of snail you need is quite dependent on the climate you are in. It's happier in some climates than it is in others, and it also depends on the time of year, because obviously that changes the effect of the climate. So do bear that in mind. I'm just trying to find some dimensionals that are not minis. Right, those are minis. Those, have I not got any ordinary? No, those are minis. I definitely had another sheet of dimensionals, but apparently not. Okay, I know where there are some. So, under my desk, I could have sworn I put out another sheet of dimensionals that weren't minis. Hey ho, have now. So, this should be relatively flat, and it is. So, one in each corner and one in the middle is all we need. Let's just give that a bit more of a burnish. That's better. Right, make those really flat against the card. Makes them easier to peel the backings off. Still looking for that set of dimensionals. I know I did one. Oh well. Right, and then just pop this. Wouldn't be the first time I put it on the wrong side. There we go. So there we are. Another stunning, in my humble opinion, effect with the Dandelion Wishes. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you do not already subscribe, there's a button just about there that you can click on, and that will subscribe you to this channel. If you wish to see when I post on my blog, you can subscribe to that by email as well. If you pop over to my blog, there's a space for doing that, and you can also sign up to my newsletter there as well. If you need any of the products, do pop over to my online store. I love my customers to pieces. They are the people that keep me going. So it'd be lovely if you felt you could buy through me. That would be great. If you're in the UK, marvellous. And other than that, I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye!